Matikela, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about Mapena. That's Mapena, but I'm going to call him Mapena. He's Mapena there. Yeah, I want us to talk about that. The courtroom fell into one of those moments where the silence felt heavier than the arguments themselves, okay? Because suddenly a very simple question started hanging in the air. If the state is claiming that Bongani Ntanzi had a phone in prison, and if the insinuation is that someone named Mapena, Bloody Mapena, supplied that phone, because it sounds as if that's where this situation is going. It sounds as if the accusation are going to go straight to Mapena. Mapena is going to be penning in between this situation. You watch and learn. You're going to see things. Then the obvious question becomes unavoidable. Where is Mapena in all of this? Because in criminal law, accusations alone mean absolutely nothing. The state must prove every link in the chain, not assume it, not imply it, not suggest it. They must prove it beyond reasonable doubt. And right now, that chain looks like this. The prosecution is trying to convince the court that a phone existed inside the holding cells that Ntanzi had access to it, right? And that Mapena was somehow the one person supplying or assisting with that phone, because Mapena's name is somewhere there, everywhere. Mapena's name is all over there. Something is happening with that. But the moment that claim is made, the law demands something very simple: evidence. Evidence. And not just any evidence that follows a clear trial paper. Okanye a clear paper trail. A clear paper trail. Because when police confiscate a phone, especially inside a prison environment, the procedure is supposed to be very strict. There should be an occurrence book entry. There should be a seizure record. There should be an exhibit register. And there should be a chain of custody showing exactly who handled that phone, when they handled it, and where it was stored. Without that documentation, the defense has a powerful argument, because evidence without a paper trail is not strong evidence. It's a story. We are dealing with a story here. And criminal courts do not convict people based on stories. They convict people based on proven facts. But that's not the only problem, because the moment the state introduces the name Mapena, they create another legal problem for themselves. If Mapena was involved, if Mapena was a person providing the phone, then the logical steps would be to bring Mapena to court to testify, to explain, to confirm or deny what happened. But because without Mapena, the court is being asked to accept a conclusion without hearing from the person who is supposedly central to the allegation. And that creates a massive gap, a gap that the defense can drive straight through. Now, here is where it becomes even more interesting. Mapena passed away. He's a deceased somebody. That is why I am saying that they are trying to pin this to the deceased Mapena. They are trying to pin this to the deceased Mapena. Now, here is where it becomes even more interesting. South African law provides investigators with a powerful tool when they believe someone holds crucial information. It's called Section 205 of the Criminal Procedure Act. That provision allows prosecutors to apply to court and compel a witness to testify under oath during an investigation. Okay? In other words, if investigators believed Mapena had critical information about a phone being supplied to Ntanzi, or about they were interested in any movement of the phone of Ntanzi to see what is happening, they should have requested late Mapena's Section 205 too, so that they can see, was it Mapena who was moving around with Ntanzi's phone or not? Instead of the disaster that they are dealing with here, because right now it's disastrous. It's not on. Do you understand? It's not looking good for them. They had the legal power to force Mabena to explain beyond the grave what happened. So another question emerges. Did they apply for the Section 205 order for Mabena so that they can get explanations beyond the grave, Zika Mabena? Was he the one that was moving around with Ndanzi's phone? And if they did, what did they say? What did Mabena's Section 205 tell them? Did Mabena's Section 205 confirm the story? Did it deny it? Was Mabena anywhere near the cell phone of Ndanzi? Or did that process never happen at all? So how are they going to prove their case now? Because if investigators truly believed that Ndanzi had a phone, or perhaps Mabena has something to do with, or to even clean out indaba kaMabena, why uMabena is central to the alleged phone activity. Failing to pursue that route raises serious questions about how thorough the investigation actually was. Because if they did a thorough investigation, they would have seen this whole situation that creates a crazy story, and they would have checked Mabena's side of things, but they did not. They did not. And this is why some legal observers are watching this moment in the trial very carefully. And even us, Abondaba, are watching it very carefully, because cases built on circumstantial evidence must follow very strict legal very strict legal rules. In fact, South African courts have repeated this principle for decades. When a case relies on inference rather than direct testimony, the inference must be the only reasonable explanation for the evidence presented. If there are other reasonable explanations, then the inference collapses. And that could be exactly the battle unfolding in that courtroom of Judge Rata Mokgoatlheng. Because if the state cannot clearly prove who found the phone, when it was found, who confiscated it, who recorded it, and how it connects to Mabena, because there is a connection to Mabena, then the defense has a very simple response. You cannot convict someone based on speculation. And yet, despite all these questions, the trial continues, evidence is allowed, arguments are presented, witnesses testify, because judges often take a different approach. Instead of stopping evidence immediately, they allow it to be placed on record first. Then later, when judgment is written, they decide how much weight that evidence actually carries. Well, we will see what Judge Rata is going to do with this. For the real question may not be whether the evidence is heard. The real question is whether that the evidence will survive the legal scrutiny that comes later. And right now, that scrutiny is intensifying, because every unanswered question becomes another crack in the prosecution's narrative. Every missing document becomes another opening for the defense. Every absent witness becomes another moment of doubt for the state's theories and narratives. And in criminal law, doubt is everything, because the moment reasonable doubt appears, the legal balance begins to shift slowly but powerfully. So as the courtroom debates phone numbers, phones, numbers, and alleged connections, one fundamental principle remains at the heart of this trial. The state must prove its case, not partially, not emotionally, but completely. And they have failed. And even if one critical link in that evidentiary chain fails, then the entire argument begins to unravel. The courtroom may still be hearing the evidence, but the real question is now impossible to ignore. Is this solid chain of proof? Is this solid chain of proof, or is this a theory struggling to hold itself together? Because in the end, struggling to hold is a problem. Because in the end, criminal trials are not decided by suspicions. They are decided by evidence that stands up to the law and say, here I am, law, evidence, we stick. And that is how things go together. And right now, the law is asking some very uncomfortable questions. And Baloyi has none of those answers. What are your thoughts when it comes to this? Let's talk with comment section. I want to hear your views. Thank you so much. I will see you on our next video. Please stick around and make sure you like, you share, you comment, and most importantly, please make sure you are subscribed on the channel. Thank you so much. Do enjoy your day. Bye-bye.